Okay, today we're going to tie a bucktail, a swim true bucktail. Now, first step is, of course, to put the hook in the vise. And this is an octopus hook, a 4/0. And our first step is, or our second step is to straighten the set out. The thread I'm using is big fly thread, and we're going to start it in the middle. Nice firm wraps, and we're going to wrap it to the eye of the hook. And we're just going to leave a little gap, which will serve for the foam when we get to it. Then we're just going to take some dumbbell eyes. The weight of the eyes is depending on how fast you want the fly to sink, but a good rule of thumb is have it about an intermediate sink, which is a slow sink. And if you want to get the fly down any deeper, of course you can use a sinking line. So we're just going to catch that with a couple of turns, and then we're just going to use figure 8, keeping pressure on the thread as we do this. And we're going to finish off with a crisscross turn and a helicopter turn, which just nips it up nice and tight. Now I'm going to get some 40-pound monofilament, and I'm going to cut about an inch of it off. And we're just going to form a loop, and we're going to put it on the front of the hook as such. Now the reason I use this is to keep the foam, or stop the foam from collapsing when you pull it through the water. So it just stiffens it up a little bit, but it also allows it to bend, so you don't break it. Okay, we're just going to trim the butt ends of that monofilament. Now we're just going to put some head cement on that, so we stop it from twisting on us. Now we're going to take some marabou, and this serves as the underbody of the fly. And we want that probably about a shank and a half long. We're just going to pinch it at the back of the hook there, wrap it a few turns. Now where we stop this body is fairly crucial, and what I like to do is just let the thread hang down, and where the thread is just past the barb is where you want to be. So then we'll just nip the butt ends of the marabou off. And I'm just going to pinch that, and I'm just going to work my thumb and forefinger forward, trapping all those fibers. Okay, now we want to work the thread back, just so the thread's just behind the barb again. We're going to take about 3 fibers of flashabou, and we're just going to hang them over so they overlap the marabou just a little bit, pinching the thread, just bringing it down so you don't pull the thread off to the side, the flashabou off to the side. Then we're going to grab the flashabou, and we're going to pull it back, lock it down with a couple of turns, and then again we're going to grab the butt, and we're going to put it forward onto the hook shank and wrap it down. And by doing it that way, we don't waste any. We just cut the loops off like that, and we can just trim it to length. Now I'm going to grab some bucktail for the wing. Now the reason I use the bucktail over the synthetic is that I find to keep a swimming fly stable, we need a sinking aspect of the fly, which is obviously the hook and the dumbbells, and we need the floating aspect of the fly, which is going to be the foam and the bucktail. So what that'll actually do is help stabilize this fly, and that's one of the key factors of a swimming fly. So we're just going to get a pinch of bucktail. We can just pinch it in the middle and pull out all the loose fibers. Again, we want this probably just a little bit past the marabou. And we're just going to wrap it around the bucktail a couple of times and just gently guide it down to the hook shank. And that'll just bunch it up nicely and stop it from rolling off the hook. The very same similar technique as you'd use for a caddis, elk-head caddis. Okay, so butts off that. Nice firm wraps. Bringing the thread back to just behind the barb. Just apply a bit of head cement on there. Okay, now we're going to take This is just 2mm high density foam. It's about 10 millimeters thick, wide, sorry. And I've just placed a little slot for the hook to go in, and I've just used a trimming knife. So what we first do is turn the foam on its side, place the eye of the hook through the slot, and then we're just going to rotate the foam into the working position. Then I'm just going to take my guide hand there and just squeeze that foam down to stop it from rolling off the hook, and then just work forward, stopping just behind the bead chain, or the dumbbells in this case. Okay, and then wind the thread back. What you can do is just bring the tag into the foam over and just check that you've got all the body in. I've just got a few more winds. One more wind. Okay. Now for the underbody, we're going to use a Polar chenille. Just catch the tag on top, then wind the thread back behind the bead chain, the dumbbells. Now with your tying hand, we're just going to wrap around, and with the guide hand, we're just going to pull the fibres back out of the way as we work forward. And that just stops you trapping all those long fibres with each turn. So we're going to stop behind the dumbbells. Now I'm just going to wrap that around the thread and lock it down with a couple of turns. Trim the tag. Okay, now we'll just tease those fibres out of the road, and we're going to bring the tag into the foam over the top, like so, and just catch it with one turn of thread or two. Now I'm just going to fold it back, and I'm going to cut it in the middle like this. We're just going to undo those couple of turns, lift this up and fold that tag underneath, and that just tidies that up a little bit. And as we tie this down, we're just going to gently pull that forward, and that'll give your back a little bit nicer profile. A couple of winds. Now with the whip finish, to finish this fly off, because obviously a whip finish tool is a little bit awkward with that lip, we're just going to go over the top, cross the thread over, and wind it on just like a whip finish tool. Pinch it at the top, pull it down. The next thing to do, of course, is to trim the lip. Now what I've found is a good working position for the lip is about the same width as the foam itself from the hook eye, so you can just get another piece of foam, just put it there and work out how long this is going to be. And that's the fly finished.